I'd really like to get this can you hear Courtney down there? No, come down. Yeah, she's probably right.
We're Riley and Courtney Casey. Frustrated by the 9 to 5, we set out to make a living making things. Through your incredible support, we've been able to bring you along for the ride, and we can't wait to share our next chapter with you. Say hello to 20 acres of raw, off-grid land in northern Idaho.
This is my harebrained idea. We'll see if it works.
See if she can navigate with 18 feet hanging off this thing. You gotta get closer. Okay, can you go down a little bit?
Yeah.
All right, got the first sheet up. Kind of. Well, as you can see behind me, the first sheet is on, and it was a success. It seems like it's on pretty square. Here's the roofing screws that we're using. You can see they are powder coated to color match, and then they also have this built-in seal washer. The seal washer is sort of cone shaped, and the idea is that you just tighten them until the washer flattens, but that you don't squeeze out the little rubber seal. So it takes a fine touch with the impact. I think there's like a clutched kind of tool that's supposed to be better for installing these, but we don't have it, so making do. Things are going pretty well. We've only got one sheet left to do. So this sheet will need to get cut to width. Unfortunately, I turned the camera off, but I almost dropped this sheet. It slid off the end of the forks of the telehandler and started going sideways off the building. Would have not been good, but Courtney was able to get under there and support it, and I was able to slide it back on. So the winds have shifted and the wildfires are moving, and it is literally raining ash on us up here. Kind of hard to capture, but like all that stuff on the roof, all that stuff is ashes. It's crazy. Hope everyone out there's all right. I measured once, maybe twice. So Courtney's gonna cut it.
about that deal? You ready?
Go for it.
And I made
A snake.
For that kind of cut, this thing is absolutely amazing. It's quiet. It doesn't make any sort of metal chips or shards or dust that's gonna rust. You just end up with like this neat curly Q and a perfect cut.
We are not sponsored by DeWalt. So DeWalt, if you're watching and want to sponsor us, or Milwaukee, or Makita, or Bosch, or Rigid, or Ryobi, or whoever, we don't have a tool sponsor.
However, I do have some choice words about our Ryobi generator we returned today. If we look as tired as we are, it's because we're really tired.
There's a storm break to come in this afternoon, and we'd really like to get this roof on so that I'm not working up on the slippery roof.
No working. He will not be working in the rain. So we're going to try to get these last few panels on the roof and then maybe take a nap.
Doubt it.
Doubt it.
It's really important that our sheet metal be square on the roof so that our little overhang on the off the edge of the eave is even down the entire length. So here's what we did. Basically, we measure the length of the sheet down to the eave. Then we measure across the same length out on the fascia. At that point, we can measure from this point down to our other point. Because it's a 45-degree right angle triangle, our hypotenuse is equal to the length of a leg times the square root of 2. We can use a ratchet strap down here. It's that blue one. And Courtney just pulls on that ratchet strap and tightens it up until I get that hypotenuse to be equal to our calculated measurement. That ensures that the front of our building is square to our roofing. And once we have that set in, we know we're in the ballpark, but because our eaves aren't perfectly straight, we actually can make small adjustments with each sheet as we put it on to ensure that we have 1.5 inches of overhang even across each sheet. Our metal's over here, but we're roofing over here. That tree is a problem. Courtney tried to take the material around the building this way, but it wasn't gonna work. So what we're doing now is dragging the sheets up and over the roof, over the peak, and down the other side. It's pretty labor intensive, but it's gonna be the easiest way to get this done without damaging the sheets. We didn't order a single extra roofing sheet, so we cannot drop one. So once we get the sheet on, I line up this edge here to make sure that this sheet is flush with the previous sheet. I put one screw in up here at the top to hold the sheet from sliding off, because if I don't hold on to these, they want to go off the building. Now that sheet's held in place, it's time to walk down the building. I tell you what, it's good to be leashed on, but holy smokes, this rope is annoying sometimes. So the plan now is to check my overhang there and make sure that it's still 1.5 inches. If it's not 1.5 inches, we can either tighten or loosen that ratchet strap to adjust that until it is 1.5 inches. Now that I'm satisfied that this sheet's in the right spot, it's time to start screwing it on. I start at the bottom, I go across the rows working towards the unfinished section of the roof, and then I work my way up. That ensures that the roof panel goes on flat and straight. Starting at the bottom and working my way up as I put the screws in also allows me to always stand where I've already put screws in. These panels get very stiff once the screws are installed, and walking on them is no problem. But before the screws are installed, if I try to walk on them, I'm really nervous about wrinkling them or creasing them. So the system seems to be working really well, and the sun just came out and it's starting to heat up here. And now it's time for another sheet. So our overhang measurement here is shrinking just a little We're supposed to be at 1.5 inches. We're now at 1 3/8. So Courtney's gonna loosen that strap, which is gonna swing that out slightly. Breakfast break?
Lunch break, breakfast break, I don't know. I don't know what day it is.
It turned out our strap was pretty tight. So here's the setup. Strap up to that corner, pulls that corner this way, which brings this roof in or out of square so that we can adjust the overhang there. So now, 1.5 inches, right on the money. By staying on top of it, it makes it easy. If we did quite a few sheets and got off by a ways, it's really hard to bring back. We learned on the other side. On the other side, we ended up as much as 3/8 of an inch off, and bringing that roof back after being off by that far was really a big challenge. This panel went on last night at probably around 8 o'clock, and there's already bird poop on it. Well, it just started raining, which is probably a good thing for the fires. Hopefully there's no lightning strikes to start new ones, but it's a bad thing for a guy on the roof. I'd really like to get this, you can hear Courtney down there. No, come down. Yeah, she's probably right. And it's stopping. I think we're gonna keep going. Battery's dying and I only have 6 screws left to do on this sheet. I'm gonna try to make it happen. Last one, will the battery make it? You made it. But I just closed off my exit. How do I get down from here? Courtney brought the Teleboom over so I can step out onto the pallet and she's gonna haul me down. That's why I keep her around, because without her here, I'd be stuck up here.
How does it feel to have the roof done?
The roof is on.
We can't celebrate quite yet. We have a few more things we need to wrap up.
Now I'm working on installing these foam closure strips. They go in right along the top of the fascia between the sheet metal and the fascia and stop all these little gaps so that insects and water and stuff can't get up through there. Our vented soffits are going to allow air to come up through the bottom, rise through the roof, and out through our vented ridge cap. So we don't need air to be able to get through these closures. Once I get all these foam closure strips, then we'll come along and we'll put the last 2 rows of screws in our roofing. This is a product called FlexoVent. It's this sort of expanded, kind of looks like Scotch-Brite material. This is gonna go underneath our ridge cap along the top of the roof to keep wind-blown dirt or water or snow or insects from being able to get through our vented ridge cap into our building. So we start by applying this, then the ridge cap goes on. All right, we got all the flex event on, and now it's time to install the ridge. This is the last piece of the roof, and we are done with the roof. I got a special delivery. Hey, thank you, Courtney. This is the last piece to the roof going on. Woo! Hey chauffeur, can you come get me?
The roof's done! Oh my goodness, that was a lot of work. Next time you get a quote for someone to roof your house and you're mad at how much money it is, I promise you, it's a lot of work.
It's also a lot of stress being up high and like, I don't want to scratch things, don't want to make a mistake. I'm glad that that part of this process
It's done!
is over.
It looks so good. And I know you guys were mad we didn't show you more of how it looked in our last video, so here's some shots.
I just wanna dance and dance till I'm numb and I'm done and I'm ready to the ground. Can you feel it now? When we're dancing to the stars. I just wanna be someone you remember. A star glowing like the sun. Can't you see my heart is sore and tender? And I just wanna dance and dance till I'm numb and I'm done. Now the rattling has just begun.
Why are we sitting on the side of the road?
I took a drink of coffee and had to simultaneously cough. So I ended up spitting my coffee out all over myself.
We are headed on a secret mission today. Interesting start to our secret mission. Riley almost died.
No, I did not almost die.